Hello and welcome to the Supercast. I'm your host, Superintendent Anthony Godfrey. They took center court during a recent Utah Jazz basketball game, but it wasn't to score a point or make a free throw. 2 Jordan School District teachers are being honored as Most Valuable Educators, or MVEs, by the Jazz organization. On this episode of the Supercast, we sit down with Mountain Point Elementary School teacher Charity Horne and Joel P Jensen teacher Mandy Truscott to find out what it takes to be an MVE and what makes them stand out as educators, elevating everyone around them. We're at Joel P Jensen today to celebrate an award-winning teacher, and we're talking with Erin Hunter, her principal as well. Erin, how are you?
Doing great.
I want you to talk a little bit about Mandy Truscott and why she won this award. Tell us a little bit about this award and what's happening.
Yeah, so the Jazz and instructor who run Canvas, they nominate, I want to say this is the first year, I'm not sure. It's a pretty new award, but yeah, they nominate, people nominate teachers throughout the state, the Most Valuable Educator Award. Mandy was nominated, and I can wholeheartedly say that I've known Mandy for a decade, and she's an amazing teacher. Like, as you can't see her classroom, but there's no kids in here, but if you walked in, you could already tell by the way things are organized that she is a wonderful teacher.
It's very well organized. It's exciting. It's bursting with fruit flavor. It's got colors everywhere. It looks fantastic. And I've known Mandy for a long time, so I know she's a fantastic teacher. Erin, how would you describe Mandy Truscott?
So Mandy Truscott is the teacher, like she never fills referrals out. If we ever got a referral from Mandy Truscott, we would know that it was a very, very serious thing, because Mandy just does an excellent job at managing her classroom, keeping her kids engaged. As she mentioned, the growth that her students make is incredible. It's awesome.
So you talked about the growth. Tell me, what kind of growth do you see in students who have Mandy's class?
Yeah, an average student that takes Mrs. Truscott's class, on average, makes about 3 years of growth in reading.
That's
from
incredible.
beginning to end.
That's incredible.
Awesome.
So in addition to there being astronauts, it's a time travel situation as well, because you're making up for lost time.
Well, and that's why we say, like, they've landed on grade level. So they do this, like, jump, and I was like, it's like a little hyperspeed. They're in hyperdrive, and they eventually can get there, but they have to put in the time and effort.
So I'm excited to hear that you got this award. Mandy, congratulations.
Thank you. It was really exciting.
Tell me about your loot. What did you get as a part of this prize?
There was $1,000 to use in my classroom, which was really nice.
Great.
We got tickets to the Jazz game. There were 6 of us. We got to stay in the suite, which was really nice as well.
Wow.
And a personalized Jazz jersey. So that was really exciting
Really?
as well. Yeah.
Wow.
I know. My husband's like, let's frame it so you can put it in your classroom. And I think we might. 'Cause
Yeah.
I don't think I'm going to be wearing it anytime. So.
I love that. And you can sign the jersey for yourself.
There you go. I could do that.
Tell me, you and I worked together a long time ago.
Yes, very long.
Yes, a very long time ago. Most of your career ago, I
Yeah.
think. And but you're teaching reading.
Yes.
And tell me about that. What do you love about teaching reading?
I love teaching reading. So I teach remedial reading, so they're kids that are not on grade level, but they don't qualify necessarily for resource services or special ed services. So, but they definitely still need some help to get caught up. So we kind of catch them, they get put in my class, and then that's what we work on, just trying to get them up to proficient grade level.
And I can't think of a teacher who would do a better job of making kids feel great about being in a class that is intended to help them catch up.
It's something they struggle with, so it's not their favorite class.
Sure.
But I feel like they do like the class. We have a good repertoire, we have a good relationship, so.
I'm sure that part of the reward is seeing the impact on a student, realizing they can do something they didn't think they were ever going to be good at.
Yeah, it's really exciting to see them make so much progress. So we have like this wall of fame, which you're not in the classroom, so you can't see it, but we have this wall of fame where like the kids' names get on the board when they level up, when they increase in grade levels, when they get on grade level. We do a lot of incentives to try and motivate them to do that, and it's really exciting to see. So we always are just pushing them to get on grade level. That's our main purpose.
Let's take us on a tour around your classroom. So I see amazing things happen here, and names of the kids that have landed on grade level.
Yeah, so those are the students who at the beginning of the year were below grade level, but they have since reached all the benchmarks to prove that they are on grade level. And then we have 4 other sections in the classroom. So the first time they level up, or the first time they go up 1 grade level, they get their name in the I've leveled up 1 reading level column. And then there's a 2 reading levels, a 3 reading levels, and a 4 or more reading levels. And you can see there's 20 kids already who are on the 4 or more reading levels. I think that the numbers may be a little misleading. I think some of those kids, they didn't try super hard on the initial assessment, which, surprise, surprise. But they do see this progress. And even if they're making progress on lower levels, or levels that may be a little bit below where they should be, they're feeling success. And that initial success, I think, helps them for when they do start to encounter more challenging work and more challenging curriculum.
I love how visual the progress is. Student progress is just right out there for everybody to see, and I have no doubt that it's motivating. Tell me about the planets or the moons that the astronauts have landed on this wall.
I try to really focus on creating a class community. So I did this space theme this year. So we have a little planet up there. I don't know if you can see it very well, but it says JPJ 112. My classroom is room 112.
Oh, nice.
So I told them that we are like a class colony. And so each student in my class has a little astronaut on the board, and in that astronaut, or on the moon, I should say, below the astronaut, it lists information about them. So they got to tell me who they are at the beginning of the year. And that was really helpful. They did that the very first week of school, so I didn't know them very well, but I was able to take that information, and they also filled out this Star Cadet intake form that they filled out.
Very nice.
So I could learn more about them and what motivated them, what they disliked, anything they wanted to tell me, basically. So,
what have some of your themes been over the years?
Oh, besides my space theme, I did an emoji theme one year, but I really like the space theme. I think I'm going to stick with it. Might
stay with it.
Yeah,
okay.
So we talked about how our learning objective is our mission objective, so we have that over here. Instead of the date, we put the star date.
Oh, love that.
Yeah, anyways, we did. They have these reading response journals, but we call them mission logs, so they write in their mission log.
Yes.
They can earn passport stickers for reading different genres. So, anyways,
very nice.
We kind of did this fun space theme. I kind of ran with it.
I see a bit of a cat corner that has nothing to do with reading necessarily.
With reading or with space, but I'm a little bit of a cat lady, so we have a little bit of a cat corner going on. So
I respect that.
Yeah,
I respect that.
The kids will draw me pictures of cats occasionally, and
they know what you
they
like.
know
That's
it.
a good
Yeah,
thing.
they know.
Tell me, what was it that initially drew you to teaching?
It's kind of a weird story. I did not get my bachelor's degree in teaching. I got my bachelor's degree in political science, and I was initially going to join the Foreign Service is what I had wanted to do. I interned in D.C. in the Department of Educational and Cultural Affairs at the State Department.
Yeah.
And I became interested in education doing that. And then I came back to Utah, which is where I'm from, and I started to substitute teach just to make a little bit of money, and I liked it, and I got a job as a para. And then I decided to go back to school and get a graduate degree in education.
Well, I'm very grateful to whoever was sick and needed you as a substitute.
It was a roundabout way of doing it, but I'm glad I did it. I feel like it was definitely meant to be, definitely what has become my passion. And it became my passion really quickly. So I was a paraprofessional in a special education classroom, and so I initially did special education. I did that for 8 years, and then I transferred over to general ed and now doing remedial reading in general education.
Well, having worked with you many moons ago, it's no surprise to me that you won this award, and I'm really glad to see that you're still teaching, and these are some lucky kids.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Stay with us. When we come back, we'll hear from Most Valuable Educator Charity Horne.
Does your student want to become a veterinarian, commercial pilot, programmer? Maybe they want to make a difference as a dental assistant. These are just some of the programs offered as part of Career and Technical Education, CTE, in Jordan School District. CTE provides the technical skills needed to prepare students for future employment or for a successful transition to post-secondary education. Career and Technical Education provides work-based learning opportunities. We partner with industry experts to offer apprenticeships and internships with students working in the real world at real jobs while going to school. The CTE experience starts in our elementary schools with the Kids Marketplace and grows through middle and high school. To explore all CTE has to offer in Jordan School District, visit cte.jordandistrict.org today, and let's get your child started on the pathway to a profession.
We're here at Mountain Point Elementary, and we have Principal Elizabeth Felt here and Charity Horne, the Most Valuable Educator Award winner. We're going to talk with Charity about her experience, but first, Elizabeth, tell me about Charity Horne as a teacher.
I can't stop saying wonderful things about Charity. Charity is one of those bright lights here at Mountain Point. She is one of those teachers that goes above and beyond for every single student here in the building. She is well known by all of our parents. She is a cheerleader for everybody. She's in the hall constantly sharing just exciting things that are going on in her classroom. And when she goes out for bus duty, she's the most cheerful person out there. She is waving people down to get them down the lane to pull forward, and people love it. They smile at her, which is a great thing.
Now, that is a remarkable accomplishment.
Yes.
I've worked the curb at elementary schools over the years. That is not a place where love is shared very much. So that's pretty exciting.
Yes,
and from the moment I walked in, I could tell the energy that she has.
Absolutely.
Charity, tell me about winning this award. How did all that come to be?
Well, I got an email and I thought it was spam. And I thought, oh, this has to be a joke. So I responded and just said, hey, is this for real? And she responded and said, yes, it is. And you were nominated by some parents for the award. And one of the nominations stood out to us. So we chose you.
How nice to be nominated. Now, it's never fun to talk about yourself.
No.
But tell me, what were some of the nominations? Elizabeth, did you get a chance to read those?
No, I actually didn't, because like Charity, I thought it was spam. I didn't hear it, I hadn't heard from it before. I
never heard it
Yeah, when you get an email that says you won, and it has all these exclamation points, you know, you do wonder. Yeah.
So I remember debriefing with Charity in the hall, and we're like, did you get this email? Yeah, I got this email. What do you think we should do?
Is this for real?
Yeah. And so then when we reached out, and we're like, okay, I think they want to do something. So I don't know what that looks like, because they're not really sure what it looks like. So we're like, okay, well, let's just go for a ride, and it's going to be great.
So
how it goes.
You thought they were fake prizes at first.
Totally.
But what were the real prizes that you ended up winning as a result?
Well, I earned $1,000. And then I got to go to the jazz game with my family and take my boys, and we went and got in the suite. And then they gave me a jazz jersey, and the Jazz Bear came to our school and recognized me on stage. So
a personalized jazz jersey,
Yes.
from what I've heard.
Yeah.
And what's the Jazz Bear like close up?
He is fun.
Yeah? Yeah?
Yeah, he messed with my hair, and
Does he smell kind of earthy?
you know, I was so nervous I didn't notice.
So they honored you on the floor during a jazz game?
Yes, they honored me on the floor during the jazz game as well, and
That's pretty exciting.
it was so awesome.
Now, tell me what grade you teach first
First
of
grade.
all.
I teach
you
first
teach
grade.
first grade. That's awesome. What do you love about teaching first grade?
Honestly, just the innocence of the kids. They're
Yeah.
they're so excited to be here. They're so excited they just love you no matter what, you know, and they don't judge you. I mean, you can not comb your hair and it won't matter. You know, adults
But they
tend
notice
to
everything
judge.
about you too, don't
They
they?
do. They notice it all. They do. And I'm like, you know what? It's okay. I didn't do my hair today. Okay, Mrs. Horne.
Did they ever say, what's wrong, Mrs. Horne, when you thought you were covering it up?
No, but they have pointed out blemishes or zits or anything that's wrong with you.
So you have to go in ready a little bit.
A little bit, yeah, but they don't care. I mean, they're excited to be here.
Yeah. Now,
So-
how long have you taught first grade?
I've been teaching first grade for 6 years. This is my 6th year in first grade, and I've taught 2 years of second grade.
So 2 years of second grade, 6 years of first grade. How many hugs does that equal over those years?
Millions.
Millions of hugs.
It's a lot of hugs.
That is
Because
the good
they
part.
move on, but they still love you, so they still come back and hug you.
Oh, so it's not just the hugs
No,
when
it's
they're there.
just-
It's the after hugs.
Yeah,
Yeah,
my
that's
older
pretty
students.
exciting.
It's awesome.
What would you say to someone who's thinking about teaching elementary school?
Honestly, it's a hard job, but you have to have, your heart's got to be in it. You got to want to make a difference, and you got to love helping little kids.
What's one of your favorite things to teach in first grade?
I like teaching math.
Yeah?
Math,
What are some of the math skills that first graders are learning right now?
adding and subtracting within 20, learning to make a 10, regroup.
Regrouping.
Yeah.
I try to regroup as much as I can. It's good. It's a good skill to
It's a
have.
good skill to have.
What drew you to teaching initially?
Well, I graduated with education, and back then it was too much work, so I was like, I'm not going to be a teacher. There's no way. It's so much work. And quickly after that, I got pregnant with twins, so my life changed to mommy mode, and ended up opening up a daycare and was going to do a tumbling studio and all these different branches of life going different directions. And my daycare kids had kind of moved on, and I decided to look at the school and just see if there was a part-time aide position, and I got hired as a math aide. And my principal at the time, Mandy Thurman, called me and said, hey, I hired you as a math aide, but I talked to the district about reinactivating your license, and I really need teachers. What do you think? I think you'd be great. And thought about it, and it was just a gut feeling that it was something I needed to do. So I did it, and it was 1,000 times harder than it was back then.
Yeah.
But
it does get harder over time.
It does get harder over time, but I think that hard work just makes you a better person and a better teacher. You learn from mistakes. You learn from positives. You learn from everything, and you just become better. So one of the things I love, I came up with it a couple years ago. I had heard another teacher was doing it, and I thought it was phenomenal. But teaching kids that they can do hard things. And so I came up with a motto that I wanted them to say every morning. And it goes, I can do hard things. I know if I think positive, work hard, and try my best, I will succeed. I believe in myself. I can do anything. And it's kind of one of those things that I want them to know that, like, even in life, not just first grade, life gets hard sometimes. And if you work hard and you just do the best you can, you're going to succeed.
I love that. And I'll bet they remember it years later.
I have kids, a girl that I taught in first grade at Riverton Elementary goes to school here. I think she's in 6th grade. And she's like, hey, Mrs. Horne, how are you? I remember our motto. So she still remembers it.
And then she recites it for you.
Yeah. Well, it was funny because I actually went running with one of my first grade parents, and we were going around the track, and I hate running. I hate cardio. And so I'm just like, I can't do this. And she's like, I can do hard things. So we just started running, and we were doing the motto. She's like, see, it works for adults too. So I just think it's a strong quality to have just for anybody. Like, you can do it. Our first reaction is sometimes, oh, that's too hard. I can't do it. But if you just learn that you can do whatever you put your mind to, if you keep working at it, you'll get it. So
I love that. I would assume that as a first grade teacher, you get to see a ton of progress from the beginning of the year to the end of the year.
That's probably one of my favorite things about first grade is I feel like I do such incredible work because if you look at their beginning of the year tests and handwriting and writing journals, and then you go to the end and I'm like, holy cow, I taught them. We, as a team, we work together to teach narrative, informative, and opinion writing. They can add and subtract. They're just bright little humans.
A school supervisor showed me the other day what a first grade student had done over the course of the year. They were so excited for the progress they'd made, and they showed the writing that they did at the beginning of the year and the writing they're doing now, and it's really cool to see the huge progress kids make.
Yeah, they make a ton of progress, and even with reading, I mean, they're barely making connecting those sounds and letters and putting them together, and by the end they're reading full passages. So
well, thanks for spending the time, and most of all, thanks for everything you do to help create a great experience for these first graders.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thanks for joining us on another episode of the Supercast. Remember, education is the most important thing you'll do today. We'll see you out there.